Hey, how about them tops, son?
All day, SEC boys. SEC, they supposed to be SEC. Where's the other, baby?
You're listening to the Red Out Podcast.
Welcome into another Red Out Podcast. I'm Jake.
Hey, Devin in the house. We got Jared and the real Ross in the house for a nice, fun Monday
What's up, guys?
surprise episode.
Yeah, right? Ooh, early in the week.
I know, it's my fault, and I'm so glad everybody else could kind of bend their will to me. So it was really nice.
Bend to my will,
Yes,
puny humans.
It was so nice.
I have to swap shifts while someone else deals with dead humans.
Yes, I had to swap shifts so he could take his daughter to Cleveland to see a concert of an artist I don't know who.
You don't know the name?
I have no idea.
Like Cardi B or like...
No, it wasn't anybody like that. It was just some vague metal grunge emo singer.
Metal
I guess.
grunge
I don't
emo.
have any idea.
You know,
Is it Maddie Mullins?
Could be. I have no idea.
Okay.
No idea.
All right. I'm
When-
proficient in that area, so I might
Yeah,
not really.
I just want... At any point in time, Jared just knows random concerts that are going on within a 10-hour drive.
If you need to know, you ask Jared.
Absolutely.
It's like, oh, are there any good showings of Hamilton in Chicago this weekend? Any cheap tickets? No, they're not. They're never cheap.
I'll go
Thanks,
get me some
Jared.
deep dish pizza and come back. I don't even care about the concert.
Dude, Giordano's, though.
I was like, wait, what?
I love me
Okay.
some soup pizza.
Soup pizza.
I mean, it kind of is, though. Like, Giordano's, you're not going to eat it with your hands. Like, you get a spoon and you just eat it. It's great.
Winners and losers. Anybody got any winners and losers this week?
Yeah, I have a loser, America, because there is not a real Cinderella in the NCAA tournament, and it makes me sad. Oregon is the highest seed that's in the Sweet 16. They're a 12 seed, which is kind of ridiculous.
Poor old Cinderella, Oregon, with $1 billion budget and all the Nike money behind
Yeah,
Yeah,
literally
exactly.
all of Nike.
I mean, that's literally like the story of Cinderella, wasn't it? She had $1 billion budget to go make that glass slipper.
It's true. Cinderella did have the nicest shoes. So maybe Oregon can be Cinderella. Though,
We know it's not Duke because Zion does not have the best shoes.
No.
right?
Which I have reeled myself in from Facebook arguments with people that say that's not favoritism or some kind of...
About him getting different shoes than everybody else?
Yeah, legit shoes that they came in and did stuff with, so that's just me. Loser for me is Duke. I'm sorry. I hate Duke.
It's just because Devin's depressed
I hate Duke.
that Taco could not bring down Zion.
I was not happy with
They're a winner because they survived.
Yeah, you
They-
can say
they-
that.
they
I'm
sur-
not saying
they-
this.
Are they though?
Until they're knocked out, they're there. They're like the herpes. They keep coming back.
See, what Devin is trying to say is that when Duke wins, America loses. It's like the New England Patriots.
It's
and
kind of
Alabama
true, though.
football.
Which, speaking of that,
Oh, yes, I was going to say.
yeah,
You beat me to it.
Gronk dipping
Loser,
out.
loser Jared, because his boy Gronk retired, so...
Yeah, right?
He's out.
Frat
I still
boy!
think listen. I still think the man retired because he got absolutely obliterated on that tackle for the Miami Miracle play. Kenyon Drake put him on skates, and he doesn't know how to tackle, and he's going to be an embarrassment forever because of that.
I think he's old and he's been beat the crap, and
He's
like,
20,
I'm
he's
done.
29.
I know, that's what kills me.
He's like half robot now because he's had so many surgeries.
Yeah, I always joke
So-
that he's more machine than man at this point. Which, but again,
That's
another,
a Star Wars reference, but yeah.
unfair advantage. Let's talk about that bionic arm he's got.
Yes.
That he just throws into the little corners you're trying to cover him. And it's like, oh yeah, this 6'7", 280-pound, 260-pound guy with this legit metal arm. Yeah, I'm going to be able to cover that. Yeah, thanks, guys.
He's not the Winter Soldier, okay? It's
I
got
mean,
hinges, it's his arm underneath. But
I'm just saying that if I take a metal hinge to the temple, even with a helmet on, I'm not going to be able to focus on pass coverage. I'm just throwing it out there.
That's hilarious.
I
Yeah.
don't hate Gronk.
I don't. He's won me a lot of fantasy games.
He's
so-
funny as crap. I mean, he's
Yes.
like the only thing about that team that I didn't absolutely despise. Like,
Yeah, I never liked Brady. Edelman, I'm not a big fan of Edelman, but Gronk,
Same.
as dumb
I'm not
as
a fan of
he
either.
is, he's
Hey,
a dumb,
dude,
lovable.
Gronk was having fun, man. You can
he was
just tell
having.
when he was
He's
fun.
doing what like any 20-something would do. You know,
Yeah.
like that's what you think.
Yeah.
Of. And not only that, the dude didn't spend a lick of his salary and was living off of endorsement money for most
Yep.
of it. Which is as dumb as we think he is. It's pretty
I
sharp.
wonder what kind of chance that Barstool would have of landing Gronk on their squad because he seems like he would be the perfect fit for that.
Oh
He
my gosh.
absolutely would. I would listen to the call of that. Like, if they could do calls of games, like, even just, like, streaming them. Now, granted, they don't have the rights to do that, and they'd get sued to death, but
It's still hilarious. to
wouldn't
think about.
Gronk be fun?
Yes.
Like, if you think that the Tony Romo, like, picking apart stuff
Yes.
before is interesting, imagine Gronk, like, pounding Coors Lights and doing the same thing at the same time. Like, wouldn't that be awesome?
That would totally be his environment, though.
Yeah, exactly.
He could totally do that, and I could totally see that. I honestly see him going to, like, a Fox or ESPN. He's going to be an analyst. He's going to be the Jason Witten or whatever, which, by the way...
With better hair.
Yes, but anybody else, like, really just kind of doing that sideways look that Jason Witten's coming back?
Yeah,
Like-
I'm not sure what he's going to accomplish because the Cowboys aren't winning the Super Bowl. So
He already couldn't run. He couldn't run after the catch. So I mean, he'll just get about a 5-yard gain and get tackled, and he'll just methodically move down the field with Randall Cobb and Zeke and whoever.
Yeah, that's
So,
what enough. Yeah, and by the way, I'm a Packers fan, and I am so depressed now.
I always
They
like
have
Randall Cobb.
nobody, and I'm like, I mean, they must be drafting a ton.
Hey, they're playing opening Thursday. I saw that today against the Bears.
Dub
well, the
Bears.
Dolphins quarterback is Ryan Fitzpatrick, so I mean, it could be worse for you, Devin.
It could be.
Yes,
You could have a
that is
geriatric
true.
as your...
It's magic, baby.
Yeah, no. Do we have any other winners or losers? Now
Yes.
that took us down that freaking
that's
off the
just-
track.
Oh my gosh,
Chalk was the winner.
This is
Boring
true.
chalk.
This is true.
Yes,
There was no seed below okay, out of the top 16 seeds, 14 advanced. The only two schools that didn't make it were the two Kansas schools. I mean, this is just boring. I guess we had to get punished for Loyola making the Final Four last year by having a just boring power conference,
There
just
weren't
top
enough virgins
teams
to
this year.
sacrifice for this year.
Agreed.
By the way, totally would sacrifice virgins to kill Duke's chances. Just saying.
Chances.
Same.
I loathe Duke and I loathe Tennessee, so
Well, you're real sad then, because both of them are advancing.
Yes,
How do you
yes,
feel
they
about
are.
North Carolina and old Thayton Roy?
ugh, North Carolina, ugh.
So
He's gonna get vertigo in that Elite Eight matchup.
Go
against
Auburn
Kentucky.
is all I
It's
can
just gonna be
say.
funny.
that's my favorite, Loser's Vertigo.
Vertigo.
I'm sorry, that's real mean of me to say, because he's like 95 years old and probably like legitimately has issues, but it is real weird. how that-
Dadgum.
What?
Dadgum.
Dadgum Roy is a great Twitter follow, by the way. Dadgum Roy is funny, because that's just a really good parody account of his. But no, man, I mean, like you said, Chalk's the winner. It is kind of boring, which is why you find yourself like putting the games on as like almost like background noise. And not only Chalk's, but point spreads being busted. So they talk about how Vegas always knows what's going on, but Vegas has been super duper wrong so far.
Yes.
I can't remember the stat, but most of the point spreads have been off by at least 10 points. Like because of so many blowouts. Which my wife loves games where there's no competition. Like her favorite Western games to watch are ones where there's no drama. Like, she gets real upset when we're, like, within a possession or two. She's like, why can't they just blow them out so I can enjoy this? And I was like, well...
She's one of those people that went to the Civil War fields and watched the boys fight, and she thought that they were just going to blow them out. And then
yeah, and then everybody starts dying, and it's
Yes.
terrible, and she freaks out. Yes.
Oh, my
She did not do
God.
well at Gettysburg. That was a 7-mile hike. She did not do well. I can't say anything either. My knee was screwed up for a week after that.
Oh, I guess another loser is Jared because Murray State lost.
Right?
Poor Jared.
Man, John Morant is gone.
Plays taps. That's not copyrighted, is it?
I still hope he gets drafted by the Knicks. I really hope he does. And then has to deal with the abysmal front office and just organization that the New York Knicks are. I hope he has to deal with that.
But for real, how long have the Knicks been terrible? Because weren't
About
they...
as long as I've been alive.
Let's say,
It's
weren't
like
they good at
25
one
and a half
point?
years.
Yeah. I heard there was a team in Indiana,
99,
but
the strike shortened season, they made the finals, and they haven't done really anything since.
So it's about the when Jared was born, 99.
yeah. Which, yeah,
Basically.
99. I don't think he was born in 99.
He's not that baby.
So how old are you, Jared?
25.
25. Okay, so you've been born in 99 at least. Okay.
Yeah.
He's not that much of a... How old is Sam, by the way? It was his birthday.
Yeah.
I think he's just a couple of years younger than I am.
Yeah, happy birthday, Sam. KSR hack. So
Well, when he said that one kid... guys, I'm blanking. The JUCO recruit that cut it down to 6 and West was in it. What's his name?
Oh, Sean McNeil.
He said, yeah, he's like, oh yeah, that guy's from my high school. I was like, how old are you?
Yeah.
You went to high school with that guy.
Yeah, it's just like It's one of those that you just go, man, how old are these people?
Or how
sometimes?
old are we, right?
I know, right? By the way, I'm old man. Let's move on. Sorry,
Yeah,
we're just we're just sitting around the
For
water
real,
cooler.
this because Western there's some Western stuff to talk about. We're really excited about it because there's some good stuff going on.
Yes.
But because it's kind of since
We're kind of between seasons, really.
We're almost at that time where there's nothing else to talk about, so we're like biting at the bits, just talk about bull crap. So that's why if we go off topic, meh.
Yeah, just keep listening. That's all there is.
We'll
to
get
it.
back to something at some point.
And I always try to put the times on the episode so you can just skip ahead when we're just
right.
on. So Ross, our softball person, what are you thinking this week? Softball, baseball. What's our update?
It was another great weekend on the diamond for the Fighting Hilltoppers. We'll first start off with the sport that's not as successful this year. Baseball had a great weekend. They went down to Miami and took 2 out of 3 from FIU.
Thank goodness.
One was in comeback fashion. I think 3 runs in the 9th to win 5-4, and then on Sunday they blew them out 15-1 in 7 innings. Mercy rolled them. So, Jake Sanford is a name you guys should know as Western fans. He's not related to Mike. He's actually from Nova Scotia, Canada, but I think he's got like almost close to 10 home runs this year. He's a freshman sensation. Nice. He had like 3 homers this weekend or something like that. And we're at 5-1 in the conference right now. This whole year hinges on them finishing the top 8 and making the Conference USA tournament. If they do that, then their season's a success. Pulaski keeps his job. Right now, they're tied for second behind Southern Miss. So right now, if the season ended today, they're at 11-11, 5-1 in the conference. Everything's great. So we will keep up with that this week. They've got Eastern, which is, the little brother down the road. We play at in Richmond tomorrow at 3. So, I guess we'll just see if they can win a game they're supposed to. And then they host Charlotte, who is actually below us in the Conference USA standings. So, another good opportunity this week. If they can go 3-1 this week, then they're really on track because they, minus a loss to Austin Peay last week, they've won 5 of their last 7 games. Also next week they play Vanderbilt, number 6 Vanderbilt on Tuesday in Nashville. So before we record next week, we'll know a lot about if this team's really improving or if it's just kind of how good or bad Conference USA is. But right now, be encouraged, and I think that game next week will be on SEC Network or something like that too. So if you guys actually want to watch Western on TV, it is possible.
Well, Ross, just before we get to the better sport, do you think they can keep that? This pace up. 5-1 in conference is kind of real freaking good at this point, especially considering where the team sits.
I would normally just say no, but they've got actually hitting, which has kind of been our problem. Pitching's always going to be the wild card for us, but you look at how we've won games: 5-4, 6-5, 5-3, 1-2, 5-4, 15-1.
It's just getting the sticks.
Yeah, it shows we can win small and win big. So I'm kind of encouraged, especially going down to Miami against a good FIU program that they're, like we've always talked about the last 3 weeks. They can get the kids that play year round better. They can get better recruits. So there's nothing but to be encouraged after this recent 2-week stretch. So
that's very encouraging. To know that one of the male sports this year is actually going to...
I know, right?
If we're compared to the other male sports, it'd probably be, I would say, surprising, but still, we're at 11-11 on the season. So, right. It's all relative success. It'd be like, Stansberry's first year, if he would have won 20 games and overachieved. That's kind of how we're at right now because we had nowhere to go but up.
That's true.
Which we have gotten some criticism from a fellow TTR writer that said that we were not critical enough of Stans, and
which is the funniest thing in the world because Matt is really the most Pollyanna dude.
Yes,
and that makes me so happy.
I would love to. Yeah, we can get back into that after we get through these little updates.
I can't wait.
Sorry, I am very random at sometimes.
So softball.
Softball.
So softball. Now here's the sport that's actually really kind of exciting. I've said on the Tower Rack Academy a couple of times. This is the story of the spring.
Yep.
So Western swept last week. They beat Eastern in Richmond 6-5 midweek, and then they swept UNC Charlotte at home. So now they are at 6-0 in conference and 22-5 overall.
This is wild.
So
Dude.
I think that's tied for like the best start in school history, something like that. But you look at this; they are now. I think I posted on Twitter today, like number 66 in the RPI. They've got a golden opportunity tomorrow against Kentucky and Lexington. Kentucky, I think, is 12 in the RPI. They've been to a Women's College World Series in the past couple of years. This is an opportunity for a statement win. I think we've got two really good pitchers. Kennedy Sullivan is the one that threw the no-hitter earlier this year, and there's another girl this weekend. I think it's Kelsey Akey or something like that, and she had 2 shutout games against Charlotte. So, having a two-headed monster in your rotation, they don't. It's not like baseball where you have to have 4 or 5 pitchers. You can ride 2 or 3 arms till their arms fall off because that underhand motion doesn't really cause as much damage as just throwing, a hard ball 100 miles an hour. So, we're set up to have a good run this year. And if we can somehow beat Kentucky tomorrow, it's time to really get excited because, then a potential at-large bid is kind of is on the table because of their closing schedule. So, this is the story to monitor. I would say, if you have streaming capability, just put it on the SEC Network Plus tomorrow and see if we can pull off. I think it's at 5 o'clock tomorrow. So,
Dude, I know you say that underhanded motion does not put as much stress on the body, but the torque coming off of that throw, it looks like it could rip a car door off its hinges.
That's really true, though. Medically speaking, the baseball pitch is so much more unnatural than the actual underhand softball fast pitch.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's actually true. I mean, I never thought that until I talked to somebody, and I was like, "You are kidding."
So we had that girl Miranda Kramer, I think 4 years ago when we made the NCAA tournament. She single-handed. This is how important a pitcher is in softball. If you have one that's deceptive and just is kind of a ringer, you can beat teams that are way more talented than you because you can win 1-0, 2-1 type games. I think in I think 2015 or something, we beat like Georgia and UNC, and we had to do was win one more game to go to the Super Regional. She gets hurt, we get blown out, and that was just the total difference of how our team played. So with these two young pitchers we have, it's kind of exciting. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I'm grasping at straws for something to get into, between
For real.
now. I mean, obviously, but this is kind of a cool thing on a really crappy season for Western sports. So just something to keep in mind.
Well, and we need any positivity we can throw out at this point for Western sports because it has been, kind of a letdown year. So anytime we can get a team that's absolutely just romper stomping through is going to be a good time.
So let's see here, Jared. Oh well, Ross. I guess we should really talk about our sport that's still continuing, and that's Lady Tops basketball.
The basketball that's still playing.
Woo, Lady Tops.
Yeah. So Ross, I guess you got that too for us, buddy.
Sure. I just kind of kept up with Matt's tweets on this. Why it happened when I was watching the men's tournament the other day, but.
Shout out to Matt for covering the crap out of ladies' games.
Matt's crazy. We say it all the time, and he's got a lot of passion. But Thursday we went up to Miami, Ohio. I think the game was kind of wild. There was like 3 or 4 10-point swings. We ended up surviving 67-63, and then Sunday we hosted Morehead State. Won our 17th in a row against them. Apparently, it was just a god awful, ugly game where Morehead kind of led the whole game, and then Western took control at the, towards the end of the fourth quarter, and they held on for a 68-65 victory to advance to the Sweet 16 to play the battle of the stand-up and cheers against the Ohio Bobcats.
Even
on,
though
Thursday
Ross
at
talked
6
mad
or
crap
7 Eastern.
about Morehead earlier.
Yes, he did. He did talk a lot of crap about Morehead. And
I
even
did,
made me
and
and
I
Jake
ate the
change our
crow.
minds. Jake and I changed our votes, and we were like, oh, well, we probably will see Ohio State.
And then
The Moorhead chant started, and we all just went, yeah, okay.
I do like beating in-state people, though. That
Yeah,
always
that's
kind of
fun
makes
there.
me happy. I mean, yeah, you might. It is cooler sometimes if you can beat, like, you know, if you get a Power 5 in, you can play them and win. But at the same time, it's like, haha, Eastern Kentucky people punted you back across the border.
Which is really Moorhead technically Eastern, though, because they're almost like northern.
They're like an hour west of Huntington, West Virginia.
Yeah,
they're
I mean,
pretty far.
Have any of you guys ever been there?
yes, I've been through there, but
Nope.
I've never stopped.
It's like
That's
well,
probably
it's
pretty
about
best.
10 minutes
Yeah, I
off
agree,
the
Jim.
interstate. It's in this little mountain town, and
I just don't feel like Moorhead is an Eastern
I mean-
Kentucky school, though.
I mean, you don't
know?
feel anything about.
I mean it's
Moorhead.
not
That's true,
down
too.
in the hollers of Harlan or anything, but it is definitely an Eastern Kentucky school.
Yeah.
I mean it's kind of like we're Western Kentucky, even though Murray's in more actual further Western Kentucky, but I would say it's kind of the same dichotomy to that.
You know,
And that's actually a good debate because I don't really feel like Bowling Green is a Western Kentucky.
if you measure it, we're just barely west of, like, the center of the state.
yeah, but
Well,
wouldn't
that's
it be
why
more like
they call
Southern
Bowling Green
Kentucky?
South Central Kentucky.
Oh, yeah,
not
we're, like,
Western
way more
Kentucky.
South Central than we are west. I had a guy... There was some dude who came to talk to us in law school, and he was from, like, he was a rep from, like, proper Western Kentucky, like,
Yes.
out Callaway County way, and he's like, so how many of y'all are from Western Kentucky? And I kind of was like, well, I'm from Western. Because I always think, oh, I'm what, WKU, it's Western. He's like,
Exactly.
where are you from? Bowling. He's like, you ain't Western Kentucky. And I was like, yeah, but I went to Western. He's like, well, Western shouldn't be called Western Kentucky. It should be called, like, Southern Kentucky or something. And so I actually got out Google Maps and, like, looked at it. And I told him then, I was like, if you divide it up, we are more west than we are east. Just FYI, we're west of that center line, Hoss. He's like, whatever, dude.
Yeah, but I mean, and that's the argument too, is what justifies West?
There
Like, if
wasn't-
you live in Pikeville, you don't think that Richmond is actually Eastern Kentucky.
That's true.
You know, and if you live in Somerset or those, you're like, well, Richmond's not Eastern, they're Northern Kentucky, you know. Just,
Good
it's
old
a,
It's
perspective.
basically when they established the teachers' colleges back in the early 1900s. Basically, I guess they had to go by the state routes, and well, compared to Louisville and Lexington and whatever, those were slightly east and west.
Yeah, see,
Well,
I wasn't
and-
around back then. So
Well,
I
and
don't
not
know.
only that, but think about, like, Kentucky at the time and, like, where the humanity is. Bowling Green was pretty much as far west as humans existed. A little bit Owensboro, but everything else was still kind of just like, what's out there? I don't know, Missouri?
I ain't going up that far. I don't
Yeah.
know what's out there. So Lady Tops beat Moorhead, as we've established.
And now they play the Fighting Bobcats.
Yes, now they've got the Bobcats.
And we have to beat them because Stand Up and Cheer is ours.
Yeah, because the only good thing that comes out of Ohio is I-75 South. So
Ooh, nice. Right.
Doesn't Ohio have good beer? Are there good breweries in Ohio?
see, I don't drink beer, so I don't.
I've heard Athens is actually one of the better college towns there is.
Really?
Athens, Ohio. Yeah, they say it's like a really good party school. Like it's kind of isolated, so it's not like even like Western is where people like go home on the weekends. It's like I've heard it's like a really good party school or whatever. So or college.
Ohio is just Pennsylvania, but worse.
It's just Pennsylvania. Like I went through Pennsylvania for the first time this summer, and I could say not overly impressed. Philly
That's
and
like Indiana to me. I was never impressed with Indiana.
now they got mountains, which is nice. I will say that, and they got Gettysburg, which is cool. Philly has cool history,
And
but
cheesesteaks.
what?
And cheesesteaks.
And cheesesteaks. I went to one of the because I was
Yeah.
googling. I was like, okay, what are the better cheesesteaks in town? And like, okay, what's the one to avoid because everybody's there? And I actually had a spicy Philly cheesesteak, which had like pepper jack cheese and jalapenos. Because I don't actually.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Oh, dude, it was so good. And they open up the front. It's like one of those like garage style restaurants. So like they open up that front window so you can like
sounds
see the
beautiful.
street. Oh, dude, it was awesome. It was some of the better food I had on our 3 weeks.
So, fun fact on Stand Up and Cheer.
Okay.
It was created in 1909 by Kansas, I guess, music professor. It is their secondary fight song, but is the primary fight song of, 5 Division I universities, in order
Really?
according to Wikipedia. WKU, Ohio University,
Ugh.
Montana State, Southeast Missouri State and Cape Girardeau, and University of North Dakota Grand Forks. So, also DuPont Manual in Louisville, Madison North Hopkins in Madisonville, Bell County and Pineville. Any more Kentucky counties? No. Oh, Pulaski County and Union College. So
Go Union.
it's a lot more stand up and cheer than we realize in the state of Kentucky.
That is pretty wild. I will say,
What
Pineville.
you're saying is that it's ours.
That's
Yes.
right. It's
Everyone else is irrelevant.
We're the number one on that list. It's Kansas's secondary fight song.
for good reason we're number one on that list.
Well, by God, we should be.
So-
yeah. Go ahead, Jake. Sorry.
Well, I was just gonna say, I guarantee you, it's Monday. There are no, even if it was Thursday at actually 3 minutes before the game, there wouldn't be a point spread. But how do we think the Lady Tops are going to do against the fighting, stealing our song / us stealing their song, Bobcats of Ohio? Ross?
I was like dead.
I think it's a toss-up. Obviously, going to the road, which Western team's going to show up. You go by common opponents. They beat Middle by 2. I know we beat. Let's see. The times we played Middle most recently. This is good podcasting.
It's definitely
We beat.
It's not
We
like we
beat
just came up with
Middle
this today.
most recently 67-56. So, just by scores, I think we can beat them. It just depends if, Raheem shows up, if Wendy Creech has a good game. Who am I mixing? D. Givens, it depends who shows up on the road. So,
Yeah, Jared, what do you think? And then we'll take Jake and I's opinions.
Yeah, going on the road, you never really know what you're going to get with any of the Western teams that we have this season. But, it just depends. I think Whitney Creech is kind of the X factor on that team. If she can get going and getting some shots dropping, I think that's going to help their chances a lot. Plus, Raheem, seeing what she can do, she's really good. I really hope that they actually show up in this game and keep the sad season that has been WKU basketball in general still alive and keep going in the NIT.
if they win this game, I think you can spin Collins' debut season in a positive light.
Yeah, I would say so because, especially comparatively speaking, so, having the early struggles in the season, some of it due to strength of schedule, we get that, but then, we got really excited, had some wins there early conference, and then it came down, and you're like, oh man, now have we made a mistake? Is he actually, does he need to be the coach? And then get some wins towards the tail end of the season, get a WNIT berth, get some wins in the WNIT. I think we could swing. Even at this point, it's like, okay, not the worst thing that could have happened. And like you said, you make an actual Elite 8 run. Okay, now we're really talking about a successful debut season.
With a lot of talent coming back next year.
And that's a key reminder that everybody needs to keep in the front of your mind, is that people are coming back. This is not a team that's losing a lot, and it's something he can really build on. I don't know what the recruiting class next year looks like. Do either of you guys?
No idea.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, the recruiting services are harder for women's basketball. It's just not as heavily publicized, so it's harder to get in there and find out unless you actually get the commits that day and look at them and go look at the class. You can't necessarily tell nationally how.
Looking at our roster though, I think Collins has kind of proven that he likes to find those diamonds in the rough, whether it be foreign players or local Kentucky players when he was helping recruit for Clark Hurd. So, I'm sure there's got to be somebody up his sleeve if they haven't completed their recruiting class yet. So
yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I was kind of zoned out. I just don't, I agree. The strength of schedule is crazy this year for the girls. I think they did well considering they're basically one of the most ignored programs on campus.
Of the major kind of sports.
Of the major sports.
Yeah.
Because track or some
golf.
of those, golf's probably
there's some teams who do, for instance, track is freaking killing it, dude.
They always do.
They're setting some good records, and they're
yeah, but you can't. Nobody watches track. It's one of those things you brag about where if it goes well, just kind of like we're doing with softball, unfortunately.
Dude, I'll
that's
tell you what,
true.
if they broadcast the track, I actually kind of like watching some of the relays and the hurdles. I'm not going to lie.
I will say,
And some of the throw-in stuff is cool.
Yeah, working with the track team, we always had to cover Western's meets as a trainer. So I always got stuck with the throwers. So I would sit down there and watch them throw.
Dude, I'll tell you what, though, setting up hurdles is a pain in the butt. Y'all ever set up hurdles?
Nope. And I was glad I
Thankfully
didn't.
not.
Dude, they suck. Like, you know how hard it is to put up? Like, you know at Thanksgiving when you're trying to put up that old card table that, like, doesn't really work that well? Imagine that, but they weigh, that they're, like, heavier and worse. Yeah, then you gotta, like, move them and stack them. That stuff sucks.
Yeah, I was just so glad I didn't have to do any of that.
Yeah,
I just walked out there and just showed up and did what, just sit there and watched.
Devin,
just wait for something to happen. And I'm
Devin,
like,
go grab that javelin out from over there. No.
That's not my job. Sorry.
Nope,
you go ahead. I'm not walking out there until this is all done.
Have you guys ever seen Saving Silverman?
Oh, yeah.
God, yes. Greatest movie ever.
I'm just thinking of when Arlie
It still
Ermey
holds
kills.
up. I watched it like a year ago, and it was still fun.
It's still fun. No, man, if all the chips stick together, that's one nacho. That's not multi-nacho. That's one nacho.
Like a commandment.
That's the rule. It's one nacho, man. I was just thinking of javelin. I was thinking when he threw the down marker and killed the ref, and it's like going back and forth.
That is a golden movie, and that's a diamond in the rough.
There's some very funny, inappropriate quotes I could say from that movie right now, but I'll just hold off.
Yes, those are so good, though.
Yeah, so that's your homework, podcast listeners. Go watch.
Yes, go watch
Saving Silverman, because that's so good.
Oh, it's such a great movie.
And Arlie Ermey, may he rest in peace, or not in peace. That's how he would like it.
You've been bitching loafs on the lawn. I break okay out there.
Yeah, that scene is great.
I gotta go watch. I don't think my wife's ever seen that movie. I gotta make her watch it because she loves stupid humor like that.
That's so, but it's beautiful.
It's so good.
It's so beautiful.
Good. Okay, so moving along, we got Jared's got some cold takes for us. Jared, what's your cold take, buddy?
All right, so good old WKU basketball group on Facebook is the group that just keeps on giving.
It is, though.
It was awful this week.
But, I mean, I don't know why I do this to myself, but someone's got to do it. So.
That's right, man.
So, of course, like, there was an absolutely absurd post. Love the man to death, but talking about Western being in the SEC for some god-awful reason. So that got people talking about where Western should be as far as a conference, which there's a lot more people than I thought that are super unhappy with the Conference USA, mostly because of their trash media deal. But there was people commenting on that post that says, quote, we need to be in the American Conference with UCF. The Ohio Valley is a natural fit, but you go like 40 years backwards. Of course, like another person said that we should be in the OVC, which is definitely, like, they've been better this year. If you look at Belmont, you look at Bury, they're obviously a lot better than, honestly, any of the teams in the conference were this year. But that's got me thinking, though. This is a two-part question I want you guys to think about. Like, one, if you could choose another conference for Western to realistically be in right now, which one would it be? And two, where do you think we will be 5 years from now? Do you think we will still be in the Conference USA? So, Devin, you take that first.
You suck. Okay. Okay.
He wants time to think.
Okay. Give me the question one more time because I have ADD.
So, if you could choose another conference for Western to be in besides the Conference USA right now that's, like, actually reasonable. Don't you say, like, the Big Ten or the SEC or something dumb like that, but, like, reasonable. And two, where do you actually think we will be? Will we still be in the Conference USA somewhere else now, like 5 years from now? What do you think?
Oh, my gosh. 5 years from now, I don't know. I think that's a good question. I think Ohio Valley. No, that's fine. I think Ohio Valley or some of those are ridiculous. Anybody that says that's ridiculous. The MAC's a possibility. I think. I mean, honestly, there's a. What are we saying, Ross?
Oh, I'm ready to talk whenever you're done. So.
Ross was cussing under his breath.
I heard that. I was like, wait a second here. Honestly, I got to pull up a list of NCAA conferences because I'm like, what in the world is going to apply here? I mean, I guess we could fit into the athletic, as bad as I hate it.
The American?
Yeah, the American athletic, whatever it's called.
See,
I mean, I'm just looking at what's regionally close.
See, for me, one of the things was, I don't know if you guys recall, but back when the Big 12 was talking about expanding and Western football was really rolling,
yeah,
and basketball was just like, man, I was like, okay, look, if the Big 12 expands and takes like a Memphis, like a UCF, like it takes two teams
Houston.
out. Takes that. Yeah, that's what it was. They were going to take Houston They were going to take Houston. They were going to take So they pulled two teams. I had always thought, and that was kind of what was bantered around, was, and again, this when Marshall was pretty decent in football too, that Marshall and Western would be, as far as like competitiveness goes, the natural, or at least the two best fits to pull into that because they can compete in basketball. Their football is really on top of it. And I was like, yes, better TV money. Even if we have to lose for a couple of years, it raises the profile of the school, gives us some more cash. That's great. And then the Big 12 did not expand because they're a bunch of gutless pukes, as Drew Diener loves to say. And they kept their crappy little conference together. They didn't take any more teams.
They're not 12 anymore, but okay.
I don't care. I don't care if they got 30. Get to the right size, have a proper conference championship, and so that we could move up. Then we didn't. Then football slacked off. So for me, honestly, I think they're right where I think Western's right where they need to be. I mean, if you look at the rest of the conference and how competitively crappy it was in basketball this year, and then you look at, football most years, Western's kind of right there. You look at campus size, you look at media market, you look at a lot of the comparables. Like one of the things that I found when I would look at other schools to talk about stuff is that how comparable in not necessarily.
It's not. That's the biggest problem. Bowling Green is, as long as the school's located in Bowling Green, Kentucky, we're never going to even get in the AAC. I mean,
right? That's the thing. Is that
how are you supposed to take schools like
Now, you can go ahead, Ross. You're raring to go, buddy. Kill it.
Yeah, let me hear your answer.
Okay. I mean, that's the thing. At the end of the day, like, even the American athletics have pipe dream because you think, if the Big 12 expanded and then they had to pick two schools, are they going to pick us in Bowling Green, Kentucky with 70,000 people? Or are they going to take a team in Norfolk, Virginia, or Birmingham, Alabama, or Charlotte, North Carolina, or
Miami.
The Dallas metro area? Yeah, Miami. Even if those fan bases aren't as big as ours, whatever. It's just not that feasible. I think, kind of like you said, Jake, we're kind of where we need to be with the kind of equal peer schools. I mean, I think the MAC is very similar, but I'd rather be grouped for recruiting reasons, for cultural reasons, for everything like that, with schools like Marshall, Middle Tennessee, UAB, Charlotte, stuff like that, as opposed to just putting us in with like the Michigans and the Eastern, Western, Central Michigans or the Ohio or whatever. So, regionally, I think we'd rather be tied to the South than the Midwest. I think in 5 years, the only thing I would keep an eye on, and this is just me going last week to the conference tournament, would be the Sun Belt and Conference USA shifting more geographically. So where all the Texas and Western schools realign and Western would be in with the Eastern schools to cut down on travel costs, to be more geographically located. And that would make sense to me. I don't know if you would either that or one giant super conference, which we've talked about as well. But I think them realigning the two leagues that really, I mean, let's be honest, Sun Belt the old Sun Belt became Conference USA after all the Conference USA schools went to the AAC.
That's true.
All the AAC schools went to the ACC. It's just kind of funny how basically they cherry pick ones after the other, and we're kind of where we are. Like I said, I hope that Western stays in Division I and, we can still care about them as much because I'll be honest, if we went back to the old days where we were a level below, it'd be hard to follow as passionately, even if we don't really have a realistic path to the title. It's just more fun being Division I in all the major sports. So
I agree with that. What do you think, Jared?
Go ahead, Jared.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I definitely agree with what you said. I mean, dropping to FCS, that kind of kills any type of momentum you have with the football program. And obviously, we've been able to compete and winning 2 Conference USA titles since we joined, which is obviously still really impressive, the years that we had under Braum. Hopefully, we'll get back to that eventually. But, it's just with basketball, it's just the fact that we're not winning is why so many people, I think, are kind of complaining about the Conference USA. If we came in and started dominating like a lot of us thought we would, like going to the NCAA tournament and having a decent showing, then maybe we could talk about going to a different conference. But unless the American is willing to pick up like smaller market schools because people like Memphis, Houston, etc. are leaving, I just don't really see us making that move upward, because you want to make an upward move. You don't want to make a move like going back to the Sun Belt, or even worse, going back to the OVC. Like, that's just not going to be best for the fans that are interested in our Division I status. And if we went back to the Sun Belt, then that would just be dumb after being in the CSA.
Well, I mean, my thing was we wouldn't go back to the Sun Belt. It would just Conference USA and Sun Belt would realign to make the geography.
Which honestly,
we would be
I
stuck
agree.
with the
Something like
Texas
that
school.
needs to happen. Like, it just makes no sense for us to play a team as far away as, like, east as Norfolk, Virginia, and then all the way over to El Paso, Texas. Like, I mean, that racks up a bunch of miles and travel costs. I wish there was a more, like, another conference that could be, like, not one of the ones like Sun Belt or Conference USA, like something new that kind of merges, like, more geographically located areas together as one conference. But the NCAA will probably never do that, at least not for a while. So we'll probably just be stuck in the Conference USA until, I mean, either we go broke in our athletics department, which is terrible. Hopefully we won't, but we'll see. If we have like some miraculous like tournament run and our football team gets back on track, I mean, maybe, but I wouldn't count on it.
My thing is, I think it would be really interesting to see a merger of Conference USA and Sunbelt. I mean, that would be really
Super
cool.
conference.
I mean, a super mid-major would be really interesting. And even then,
That's
you
where
could
the pod system would be cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, keep going.
Yeah, I completely agree, though. I mean, because my thing is, if you look at a map of, Conference USA and the Sun Belt, I mean, they basically overlap in some states and even cover a lot more. That would expand your east-wests. I mean, that could make... I mean, it would be a really awesome thing
It would
to
really
see.
be like a quarter of the landmass.
I mean, you would
outside
have
of
26
Alaska.
teams.
But it would be interesting because, like, when you look at the map, like, it goes down to Florida and goes across, the Alabama, Mississippi, like, southern states, a little bit of Arkansas. So if you tie in, like, Kentucky, Tennessee, it's like, oh, we just, all the way down to Texas, we just have all of the Old South.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
mean,
we
it would be
have.
the Super Southern
We'll
Conference.
that's what they should call it, the Super Southern Conference. Dude, people in Texas would love that. There's so many people in Texas. I work with a guy who is a big, like, old school Southern Conference fan.
Yes.
And he would
Southwest Conference.
and
Yeah.
he would absolutely, like,
Oh, anything Southern
he
would
would
fly.
he's they need to bring back the old Southwest Conference. Put all the Texas schools in there.
Yeah.
And he's like 23 now, so he's a baby, so I gave him the old man voice, but he's not really an old man, he's kind of a child. He's a history guy though, so he fits with the old crotchety man voice.
Yeah, but see, and then I think it would
That's
be really
funny
cool.
because that's when like Rice and North Texas and stuff, or not, I don't know if North Texas was, but like Rice and all the kind of mid-major schools were with the Big 12 Texas.
Right,
schools.
exactly. It was
crazy.
just Texas.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's my thing, is if you condense those, like, I don't think Western should step down. They shouldn't go back to Sun Belt. They shouldn't go back to FCS, because that's almost like a slap in the face to the people who
Yeah, see, like, I
tried to
really,
do that.
really wish that the Atlantic 10 had like football and had like decent football, because the basketball teams in the A10 are really, really, really good. I would love to see us compete with, like, we play Rhode Island next year.
Yep.
Like, they had a really good tournament run last year. Them, VCU, Davidson. There's a bunch of good teams in the A10 basketball wise, but of course the football is where it's like.
Fun fact, Jared, VC used to be in the Sun Belt back in the day when Western was in it.
Who was that?
VCU.
Before my time.
That's wild.
In the
Did
80s,
not know
yeah.
that.
Oh, 80s. Okay, I was like, I don't remember that.
That's in Ross's time.
Yeah, Ross's time. Yeah, because he's old like
No,
that.
because I'm a history buff too. So
Oh, okay.
Get off my lawn.
He's a
He's a
hey
man,
sports history guy.
that can be your catchphrase. If I get pee down my leg, you can have get off my lawn.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, I was just throwing around the Atlantic or the Athletic.
I mean, legit. I used to think that was a thing because that's what
I
everybody
mean,
talks about.
it would be the logical next step, but I just don't think anybody's going to be itching and rearing to go for Bowling Green, Kentucky.
Yeah, I mean
So-
that's exactly right. Bowling Green small media market. It's overlapped by Nashville and Louisville's media markets. It's not a huge pull
Yeah.
money wise, and even if our fan base is bigger, right?
Yeah.
It's all about how many TVs are turned to the ads. And so you would think, again, the Norfolks, the Miamis, even if not everybody's a fan, even if it's just on in the background, the rights to it, because of population, would be worth more.
Yeah.
So they'd get the pull, and then they get more
Well,
cameras.
and if they grew with that, like Norfolk, that'd be like their team in their region.
Right.
While, like, I go to a bar in Louisville, you never see a Western game on TV, unless you ask. And that's just like the difference between where we are as a school and where a school like, even Norfolk would be in their own hometown. So
Yeah, I do have to
Yeah,
say
the
that's
only way. This is my opinion, but the only way we would have like a big move up is if we were to do something miraculous like Butler did and go to 2 Final Fours back to back or something and get all this national draw towards us, because they went from being a Horizon League school to the Big East in like just a matter of years because of Brad Stevens and being able to go to back back years, but also same time for them. Indianapolis, that's a really big market, so it just comes down to
Creighton, Omaha, Nebraska. I mean, all those schools that were probably equal with us 20 years ago, they didn't play football. So, football is a blessing and a curse in that regard. Where if you focus on just one sport, maybe you could emerge as a mid-major power. But I love, Saturdays in the fall too much to give that up. And I had too much fun when we were getting.
I mean, and you got to think.
you.
You got to think about monetary value too. That's what a lot of these schools are thinking. If you get rid of a big school like football, I mean, even let's say Kentucky, who historically their football program's not that great, they still pull in enough money to basically pay the bills, and then the basketball just pays, the surplus of whatever else they want to do.
all SEC TV money, man.
That's
That
right.
SEC network money, holy crap. We could have that for a semester, the stuff we could do.
So let me ask Ross and Jake, as Louisville fans, let's say 10 years ago, well, let's see, was it 10? Or was it probably 15 years ago? When
15 years ago, they were
when
in
Louisville
Conference
was
USA.
Conference USA, would you have said in 2019 that they would be in the ACC?
Well, I mean, I knew they were going to the Big East, and if you would have told me that the conferences were realigned again, I would have been completely shocked. But also, 15 years ago, I would have probably been drinking the Kool-Aid more than I am now, too, though.
So I wasn't a Louisville fan 15 years ago, but knowing historically what happened and knowing what happened at the University of Louisville and at Louisville as a town over the course of that, you don't know which Power 5 they're going to be in,
Yeah.
but you figure they're eventually going to get there because Tom Jurich was just spending money.
Oh,
Whether
he
or not he
was.
had it, he was going to spend his way into a conference. And Louisville's big town, it's its own kind of media market. It doesn't overlap a lot with many other media markets. Indianapolis, a little bit, but you're talking about a lot of eyeballs. It's a lot of people.
It's the game. It's the pro game in town, even though it's a college game.
Precisely, which is why they fought so hard.
To keep an NBA
Correct.
team.
The only thing I want to see happen, though, is that I want to see Maryland go to the ACC and Louisville go into the Big Ten because there is nothing Atlantic about Louisville, Kentucky. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, there's
Hey,
nothing
Salt Life,
Atlantic
buddy.
about Syracuse, New York, or Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So
Salt Life, buddy, is all I got to say.
Still, though, I mean, Ohio refused.
I mean, but, like, idealistically, I mean, where will Western be in 5 years?
Conference USA.
Yeah, I mean, Conference USA is probably the best fit.
SEC.
Yeah, you're crazy. I know.
Look,
You're just like, I mean,
I love him.
Yeah, I love him
But that
too.
was the cringiest post I've seen in a long time. I was just like, but
I don't have a problem with somebody asking, should they go to SEC? I mean, it's a definite, loud, resounding no, but it's still a question to ask. Is it a possibility?
I mean,
30 years
there's
from now?
there's a
Probably.
cultural gap there too. I mean, you never know if he understands the complete landscape of why that's never going to happen.
I mean, and
That's
it could
fair.
be it could be a political thing
Yeah.
as far as conferences go, because you've got a UK and you got a Western. I mean, politically, Western's not going to pull the crowd that UK would pull. So, I mean, if it was a realignment in that sense, that's not going to happen either, obviously. But,
so speaking of things that didn't happen,
yeah,
our bracket's doing well.
yeah. Do you have the?
I'm gonna pull it up. So if you guys
I've
did
got
not-
who's leading.
yeah, if you guys didn't join in, shame on you because we posted it like 4 times.
That's okay.
But and maybe you just hate Jake's choice of CBS Sports. I just like the app better. Okay, I'm just saying that I enjoy the CBS Sports app for the bracketiness. I think it's easier to navigate than the ESPN one. Hot take. But Ross, do you want to talk about who's winning? Because my app just crashed when I said nice things about it, so now I'm a little mad.
So we can go. We had, I think, 15, I believe, people who entered into the contest just for pure bragging rights. 6 of us towel rack riders, and then a handful of fans. After the first 2 rounds, we have Michael Garcia in first place with 54 points. Matt Kratz in second with 52. Susan Connor tied in second with, 50. I don't understand how. Oh, okay, 51. I'm looking at best career. This whole thing's. Okay, 51, 50, 50. Jack Watson has 49. John Whitaker has 49. Alexandra Beckmeyer, I think that's Fletcher's girlfriend, has 47. Sam Gormley finally in 6th place with 47. Devin, 8th with 45. Jake is in 10th with 42. And bringing up the rear is Jared with 36 and me with 36. So the two experts you hear rambling on about sports, not really that smart.
It's because I thought we would actually have an upset that would happen that's not a terrible Pac-12 team actually make it to Sweet 16. So, I mean, I put some money on UC Irvine. I put some money maybe on Liberty. Not really. I think it...
Not really.
I'd be lying if I said I even remembered who I put on that bracket. But I know I picked some upsets, and it came back to bite me in the rear end. So what else is new?
Dude, I did too. I sold out to Buffalo. I sold out to the Buffalo hype, man. To heck with that frozen tundra town.
Yeah, and I'm kind of like Antonio Brown. I ain't played in no snow.
Yeah.
My strategy was just basically screw upsets. I'm just going to take the big dogs and everything, and
see what happens.
Yeah, I just and you know the gamble, the probability of having another Loyola-esque team is so low. I'll just take the big dogs.
Well, because it's one thing where you can always bank on. Like, I don't remember, what national was it? Goodman who picked all 1 seeds in his Final Four. It's like, yeah.
That's Dickie V, I think.
Dickie V, you know, there's a couple.
Baby.
There's a couple.
Number 1-0 gonna win it, baby.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Like, look, man.
Yeah, baby.
I don't know. Maybe it's a hot. I don't like Dickie V.
It's not a hot take.
He annoys the crap out of me.
He's lost his fastball, man.
I just, I don't like, okay. I like a catchphrase. Okay, I do. I like a catchphrase. Holy moly is one of the best catchphrases.
Not so fast. Yeah, that's a great catchphrase.
Yeah.
But when the only thing you do is utter catchphrases and nonsensical stuff.
So like John Madden.
And they kiss Rick Pitino's butt after he's been through everything.
Yes.
Yeah, boy, they are tight. I give him that. He's loyal.
He's loyal. He's definitely loyal.
He sticks with his dudes.
And that's fine, but in the long run, you know.
What's one of those things where, like, you stick with your boy?
I just wouldn't bring up the subject.
Right, exactly.
Okay, move on.
Just ignore it.
If I do some crazy stuff, guys, and you guys get on TV, don't try to defend me. Just pretend it didn't happen and don't talk about it.
Just ignore the question.
Stuff. Right, just ignore. Or
Dickie
V doesn't even have to talk about. He just brings it up out of nowhere.
Just R.I.P. Jake.
Yeah, right. R.I.P. Jake. Like, just don't talk about it.
Yeah.
People got short memories, man. They don't care.
Nope.
Like, just don't talk about it. Especially with college basketball. Most of the country doesn't care except for like a week out of the year. Just don't talk about it.
Exactly.
Don't talk about it.
So great though.
Dickie V, and who's the? You guys remember like NCAA basketball like games back in the day, like for the like Xbox?
Mm-hmm.
So you could. I had NCAA 10. I still have it for my 360, right?
Yes.
And throughout the game, like you get the different broadcasters. You get the ESPN crew and you get the CBS crew.
You're talking like Kirk Herbstreit and all those guys? Or
well, but in basketball, there's a basketball.
I'm sorry, Bryce.
And
Bill Raftery, Billy Packer.
Yes, and he always says like "Dipsy Doo Dunkaroo," and also like, dude, just no. And like I get into video games, like they only have enough like canned like comments.
I'm surprised that you even turned the sound on in those games because I don't even turn the sound on.
I definitely turned down after I started playing. I turned off the commentary and just kept crowd noise and like sneakers. You know, cause I like I like the noise and like the way that the basketball. I like the swishy noises, and whistles. But good Lord, Dickie V, man, I don't like anybody's all catchphrases. Pick one catchphrase and then have color.
The only catchphrase I really know Dickie V does is "Yeah, baby."
Yeah, but everything he says sounds like a catchphrase.
Well, yeah, because he's old.
Well,
I have heard the really cool
maybe that's
thing.
what it is. Maybe
Diaper Dandy.
That one.
Dixie Doo, Dunkaroo. I think that's like the big ones.
My thing.
I do like Bill Raftery and the onions, though. I use that a lot. Whenever somebody makes a big shot, I'll be like, "Tate's got onions."
Yeah, but pick one, and that's your thing, and then add color.
Yeah.
Don't make everything you say like a carnival sideshow.
What was the
Send It In, Jerome by Bill Raftery was good too.
What was the
greatest of all time is the Boom Goes the Dynamite.
And boom goes the dynamite.
Boom goes the dynamite.
What's that guy doing now? Does anybody know?
I know, right?
Probably not sports broadcasting.
I hope he's doing sports broadcasting, and that's his shtick.
Or podcast, yeah.
Or he probably does have a
Probably
podcast.
the name of his podcast. We need to look that up. Boom goes the Dynamite podcast.
Write that down,
That is
guys.
so hilarious.
But we were
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
we had this thought, instead of doing rankings, we had this thought, like, let's talk about the curses or blessings of a bunch of Sweet 16 teams. Jared, Ross, do either of you want to start us off?
I mean, I have it pulled up. So
Okay,
I don't
go
know
for it,
how
Jared.
it's off. So looking at just the top teams left and whatever side of the bracket, East, sure, we'll go with that. Duke and Virginia Tech. I am still so mad that that shot for Duke actually went in. First of all, what's-his-face was holding the entire time. He totally had a hook on whoever it was for UCF after Taco Fall fouled out because of an arguable charge, and Zion went just like shoulders first into the paint and didn't even really care about what was going to happen after that. That led to them getting that. He missed his free throw, and then the hooking, and then I think it was R.J. Barrett that got the tip in to put them in the lead. And of course, like, I guess UCF is just cursed. I mean, they must have talked too much smack about their national championship in football. That the two shots that they had rimmed out. Like, dude,
I felt those. I felt that pain.
Honestly,
I mean,
greatest upset is if UCF had beat Duke. But sorry,
would've
Jared,
been-
go
They
ahead.
would've
wouldn't
been
have hit either of those. That would have been like one of the best March Madness moments we've had in a long time. But we can't have nice things apparently this year. Like Virginia Tech, I mean, they beat Liberty. They beat I don't even know who they played before that. Probably someone even more irrelevant. I mean, I still want them to beat Duke. Virginia Tech, they have my full blessing. Buzz Williams go out and have an ACC matchup in the third round of the NCAA
Virginia Tech
tournament.
beat St. Louis.
Oh, wow, my bad. Isn't that where what's-his-face is now?
Mark McGuire?
Kentucky-
Travis Ford.
Yeah, Travis Ford. That's where he's at now. Oh, wow.
Dude, I'm telling you, here's how bad, like, some of the, like, that I don't pay attention to some of the low seeds that aren't, like, fun. My wife came in, she's like, yeah, the kids did brackets, stay in class. St. Louis was a very popular one. I was like, is St. Louis even playing in the tournament?
Yeah, I agree.
And then she was like, yeah, St. Louis, they got this weird mascot. And I was like, oh, yeah, they are.
The Billikens.
The Billiken,
The
yeah.
I was like, what is
Billiken, yeah. I looked it
It's
up
like
one
a
time.
gargoyle.
It's like some
pretty
little,
much.
gargoyle gremlin thing. I don't remember. I looked it up
They're
They're
one
the
time.
former
so-
Conference USA school.
What?
They said they're a former Conference USA school.
Where are they at?
St. Louis.
They picked
Uh,
it up.
right now they're in
smart ass.
they're in-
I think he meant the conference, man.
Which
they're in the
conference
A10 now.
Oh, the
A10,
A10. Okay.
Yeah. A10's a good conference.
yeah, very Atlantic, St. Louis.
That is a charm doll created by an American art teacher and illustrator.
It's a goofy looking thing. I'm not.
It
gonna
is
lie.
very goofy looking.
It's
That's
probably
your mascot.
creepy if-
It is.
I mean,
Those are creepy. If you Wikipedia this, which I am, there's one in Alaska that looks really creepy. It looks like two salt shakers, but they look creepy. If they came to life and started chasing me, I'd have nightmares for years.
Yeah, but anyways, continue, Jared, about things you hate.
Okay, so, I mean, I definitely would like to curse the Duke Blue Devils just because, I mean,
Preach.
they're Duke. After what they did, I hope Zion, I just hope he has an absolutely terrible game against Virginia Tech. I don't know if Blackshear's the guy that will guard him. I don't know who he'll have on him, but I hope he just gets shut down. I hope that his shoes, like, for some reason, they just won't stay tied, that he'll just be tripping all over the place. He still stays healthy, still stays in the game.
Preach.
But yeah, I just want him to be an absolute mess for that game. Go Hokies. Give me the Hokies.
Do you have any other curses you wish to elaborate?
Or blessings you wish to bestow upon
Well,
teams.
I would like to bless particularly the Gonzaga Bulldogs, just for the fact
Yeah.
that they're technically not sort of a mid-major, although they're like the...
They're in a mid-major league at least.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
they're in a
true.
mid-major league. I mean, they're the only ones left that I actually care about cheering for. Screw Oregon after beating UC Irvine. They can go kick rocks. I don't like them at all. But Gonzaga, I want to see Mark Few get a national championship. I feel so bad for this man. He's had some really good runs. He's had an incredible year as a coach for Gonzaga. He's basically taken them from like a team no one has ever heard of into one of the powerhouses of college basketball. I hope he beats Florida State. I hope he beats Fletcher's team over there really bad. I want
Fletcher
I want
loves
Gonzaga
FSU.
to beat Florida State so bad that Fletcher wishes that Hilltopper basketball was still going on. That's how like bad it's going to make them look. And let me see who else.
The content,
Who else? I mean, I'm still mad at Virginia for beating Gardner-Webb. They can lose. Purdue and Tennessee, that's just a disgusting matchup. I don't like anything about that. If Houston and Kentucky, I will take Houston in this. I bless Houston just for the fact that Corey Davis has had an incredible year. I would have loved him to have gone to Western. Amen. So, I mean, it is what it is, but they're sort of not, they're not really like a Cinderella or anything, but they're another smaller conference. They're not one of the Power Five. Like
they're just a good little cuddly school that's supported by oil money.
I mean,
man, ain't nothing wrong with that
I want
oil
them
money.
to do really good in this
Well, I mean, I work for an oil company. So.
Not Big 10, but Big 12. I want to see Houston go to the Big 12. That way a spot opens in the ACC. And then just eventually maybe they think about Western after, like, maybe Bowling Green will get a huge thing going on over there, get a bunch of people moving in for whatever reason.
So they are building the crap out of some apartments over there.
Yeah, they're building plenty of apartments, but, I mean, I don't know.
But we need humans to live in them.
Yes, we need humans, not Bosnians or whatever.
Oh
sorry. So,
Sorry to bleep that.
Yeah, just bleep me out. Just ignore me. So,
dude, I got some people to curse and.
Jake, do you want? Yeah, you go. You
so
curse,
first,
and then we'll let Ross curse.
I wanna bless. You know, my bracket's just gonna be host. This is all anti-bracket at this point. I don't really care. Auburn. Bruce Pearl's funny.
Yeah.
Okay, Bruce Pearl's hilarious.
Okay.
He's a cheater who does not care.
That's true.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
And he is one of the sweatiest men in college basketball, even though he has no right to be because he doesn't actually coach on offense. It's literally like I don't understand. Shoot the three, coach. What are we gonna do? Shoot the three, coach. I mean, we got to run a set. Shoot the three. Okay, we get it. Just jack up a 3 seconds into the shot clock. We got it, Pearl. Yeah. So I want to bless them because I just think it'd be funny as crap if that was the SEC team that like made it all the way. Like not Kentucky, just not Tennessee. It was picked to be real good. Like just
not LSU.
Not LSU because
yeah, they're just gonna get an asterisk on this year, anyways.
Yeah,
I thought that was pretty funny. After they won that game, I guess it was against Kansas. They had like Charles Barkley like cornered out, just like with Auburn like surrounding him and like streamers and all that stuff.
Yeah, dude, for real. So give blessings to Auburn just so we can watch Bruce Pearl sweat some more because it's just
quiet,
fun.
Larry Bird.
Yeah, it's so funny. If I have to curse people. Curse Duke, obviously, because it would be a good story for them to lose. At this point, like, the Virginia Tech beating them, I'm like, meh. Yeah. Because they were good. They were pretty good all season. They beat them, sans star players. Obviously, Robinson is not the equivalent of Zion Williamson, so having him back, I don't, like, equate those two. Obviously, still favored. Of course, Duke's only 7.5-point favorite at this point, which is kind of interesting. I guess that's based on their last performance against UCF. I don't know, man. As far as the rest of them, cursing Purdue, just 'cause I still hate Purdue.
Because they still Western players? Oh, that's football, sorry.
I mean, still, doesn't mean I don't deplore the university.
People don't forget.
Yeah, I don't forget. This whole grudge is forever.
The North remembers.
There's one more blessing I want to give, and that's Texas Tech. Texas Tech, just for the fact that they're Red Raiders and not Blue Raiders.
That's right. They picked the good color.
That's true. Yeah, bless Texas.
Is Texas Tech in Lubbock? Is that where Texas Tech is at?
Yes.
I think.
Bless their hearts, though. I mean, they got to be in Lubbock, so you want them to do something.
Yeah, because there's nothing else to do there.
No, man. It's just a dirt pile to roll around in.
And I mean, they don't have oil money like Houston does, apparently, so.
They probably do. Yeah, I feel like every Texas school that's like in the oil fields. Of
Texas, they just have oil wells.
Just dried up wells. They don't actually have the money. All the money goes to like everybody else.
They're close enough to Midland.
Midland, good old in Midland, a dirt pile full of oil too.
Yeah, I mean that's where the wells are, Midland, Odessa.
I would just assume that there's oil in Texas. I mean,
just everywhere.
You dig a garden and you're going to hit oil. I just assume so.
Yeah, so that's all I got. And you know what? I know you said curse Virginia. I don't give a crap. I don't give a crap about Oregon. And as far as feeling sorry for dudes, I feel sorry for Tony Bennett at this point. Like I do, like the best regular season coach who pees down his leg every tournament. So I'm ready to see him get over the hump and do something. He ain't got to win it all, but just do something, man.
He
like, I would like to see a Gonzaga versus Virginia title game. That would be really good because neither of them.
That style contrast would be fun, though. Like
that would be a
the Zags trying to run and Virginia trying to hold them. Like that would be That's my new. That's now. Good job, Jared. That's what I hope happens.
Make it
now.
happen, NCAA.
Come on.
Don't make me come. I'm coming up to Indy in a week. You got a week to figure this out.
Make it happen.
Hashtag refs make this work.
That's right.
Okay. Ross, do you want to go?
Sure. I
Go for it,
won't
buddy.
be that long. First thing, out of the 16 teams in the Sweet 16, 10 have as many or less NCAA tournament appearances than Western.
Nice.
So, I am, and I'd say about 3/4 have no Final Fours. So, I am going for, schools that are probably below that level. Your Virginia Techs, the Auburns, Texas Techs of the world. I want to see Tennessee continue to suffer because I like bragging that we have a Final Four and more tournament appearances than them. So as long as they keep bowing out in the Sweet 16 or Elite 8, I just hope they keep being snake bit. I was hoping they would fall on that giant comeback Iowa made, but they turned it on the end. I don't really, Gonzaga's fine with me. I can see why people hate them because I think, the common misconception about the NCAA tournament, people like Cinderellas. They like it till they get to the end, and then they kind of get annoyed by them. So I wouldn't mind if they got over the top, even though, they're kind of like directly tied with us historically when it comes to the long-term thing. Some more salt. Obviously, I don't really care to see like Duke or North Carolina, but who I really don't want to see? The ultimate salt is Kentucky. I mean, just because they're fans, Facebook, just the BBN crap that you see this year around. They come out of the woodwork. Like, it's just so typical this time of year. And I'm surprised I was the only one to really say this. It's just like, you follow the Twitter people, you follow, your friends from high school, college, wherever, and they just come out of the woodwork this time of year. They complain about the refs. They complain about everything. And, I just don't want to see their happiness. So
Same.
Ross, I don't
I'm
know.
still upset. I'm still upset that they beat Wofford. Like, this is my curse for Kentucky. I want Tyler Hero to do like Fletcher McGee did. Go for
I think if
now.
PJ Washington doesn't come back, which I don't see how he could with that hard cast is on his leg, I don't see how they're going to be able to survive these next 2
my dog
years.
is still sad the Terriers lost.
Your
We
dog
can't
is
have
still
the
sad.
dog being sad. Curse
Yeah,
you
poor
can't.
dog.
Out here, Ross, man, you say your friends from high school and college that like UK. I don't know what kind of friend group you run in, Hoss, but I ditched a lot of those people a long time ago. I had a buddy of mine.
You still see him on Facebook, buddy.
Oh no, I like to play this game where it's like do I care if you die? Like, would I go to your funeral? And if I wouldn't go to your funeral, I delete you off of Facebook. I do this like a couple times a year. It's really helped curate all my feeds to people I actually care about.
See, I just unfollow. I don't unfriend.
Oh no,
You can unfollow.
That's a cop out. That's a cop out.
it's a cop
I
out,
will say
but
there are
yes.
some people that I've unfollowed before, or like it's like I don't like somebody's parent. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where like I don't want to see. Like, I got a buddy whose dad who like sends
Yeah.
me all kinds of stupid stuff from like chain letters from the '90s kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So he's unfollowed and muted a little bit.
Is that my dad?
As not your dad.
Okay.
As different
That
dad.
sounds like him, though.
You
But
think doesn't really
You're
say
just a
so.
little bit more harsh than me. I don't know.
I
guess
am.
I'm
I
a
am a little mean
people pleaser
sometimes.
deep down, where it's just like I just don't care about your UK fanhood this time of year or ever. But
okay.
Yeah, just cut him out of your life.
So I'm going to jump in, and I'm going to ruin all your days. I curse all number 1 seeds. I hate when number 1 seeds win. I'm sorry.
I mean,
I hate North Carolina. I hate Duke.
don't
Virginia.
care about Virginia.
I'm indifferent about Virginia, but I know they're going to choke anyway, just
They
like
really
Ross
are.
just did, so it's fine.
Yeah.
I would love to see, the Oregons, not Tennessee, not Purdue. LSU, not Michigan State, because they're trash. Texas Tech, not Michigan, because they don't care to be there anyway. Obviously, if you've listened to our show, you know this. And Houston, their symbol looks just like UK's. If you're looking at the official bracket, it looks just like it. Yeah, I mean, obviously one's a K, but one's an H. I mean,
They do. I thought that when they had
Like,
those.
if you
one's
just-
red and one's blue.
not if you're colorblind, they look the same, okay? I'm not
Are you colorblind?
No, I'm not.
Does
no.
red and blue look similar in red, green, colorblind?
No, it's red-green colorblind.
Well, I recognize that, but just because it's
But
not
blue
called
is a
red,
part
blue.
of green, yeah. I don't know.
Because
We'll have to...
blue and purple, I know, screws people up.
Yes.
I got girl at work. Her husband is colorblind. I'm gonna ask her tomorrow about red.
You need to ask her, yeah.
I'm gonna ask her.
And if you know our listeners, please comment and let us know if
Yeah,
you're colorblind.
if you guys are colorblind, I would say you guys because women are almost never colorblind.
Women, if you're listening to, you can by all means comment.
If you're colorblind and a woman, tell us because that's fascinating.
We had like 4 or 5 women in the bracket pick 'em.
Hey, yeah, I saw that too. I don't know who Randomir is, but that was really funny too. If that's a made-up name, that's better. But if it's a real name, please comment because that's hilarious. Also, Auburn, I don't care. I'd like to see them beat North Carolina. But I would have loved to have seen Washington or any of those other teams beat. Of course, I can't. There we go. There's a scroll. Who else played North Carolina?
I had New Mexico State in my Sweet 16 beating Auburn, so they killed all of that.
I'm glad to see.
I had them on the money line, and I was pissed when.
Oh, dude, I bet you were.
3-3
Oh man.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Comeback's pretty good though.
Unlike everybody else, I'm not.
It was
Kentucky,
sad
so.
seeing Trevlin Queen actually have a pretty good game until that last shot too.
As a former / current Kentucky fan,
This is secondary fandom.
yes, my secondary fandom.
How we are with you.
I
though.
want to see Kentucky. I'd like to see Kentucky win because before anybody goes crazy on me, I don't want Duke to outwin Kentucky because I hate Duke, and I don't want UCLA to outwin Kentucky. I would rather Kentucky have the number one. And I know everybody hates BBN and all that, but
That's the only reason I hate Kentucky is BBN.
BBN is just as a Kentucky fan, BBN's annoying.
Well, that's one of my
I still
things.
think L1C4 is way worse, though. That's just my opinion. That's so cheesy.
Jake, what color
What?
shirt is Devin wearing right now? Is he wearing his 3 goggles shirt?
But you know what's here's
UK
what's
shirt?
funny. It's like in between Carolina and Kentucky blue.
Actually, it is. Yeah,
It's like this Under Armour like Carolina.
it's a dry. It's like a dry fit.
like
with
one of
those
stretchy.
looses, yeah.
Yeah, it's like in between Kentucky and Carolina. So as much as he's professing to hate Carolina, he is closer to their colors
Yes.
than he is the other blue.
Sadly, and I can tell you right now, I'm sure as Flip not wearing orange. So God,
Yeah.
I will agree. I don't like
Tennessee
L1C4.
orange
And
is disgusting.
fun fact, Jared, they're actually
That's terrible.
they're moving away from the L1C4 stuff
Yeah.
post Jurich.
yeah, for good reason.
Yeah.
For good reason.
It was,
they're moving
I
away
was
from it.
tired. It was a terrible hashtag to begin with. It was.
Yeah, it was bad.
It was trying too hard and everything else.
That's
but-
just
It was try hardy.
yeah.
It
I
really
will
was.
say, though, it will never be as bad as Shoes Up at Murray State. That's just
Shoes up.
so
Shoes
much.
Up. Okay, first off, hadn't heard that because I don't pay attention to Murray. That just makes me. I don't even. That just shoes up.
That cracks me up. That does crack me up.
It's almost as good as that horse costume.
I don't
Which,
know.
guys, nobody was in the crowd wearing it.
So sad.
So
Really
fail.
disappointed.
Yeah,
Fail.
amazing fail there. But I guess that's kind of all we got tonight.
That's all we got
Yeah.
tonight. I mean, we're at hour 12.
Yeah, I was
could
gonna
rant
say.
about this tournament forever, but yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't think we'd have a lot to talk about, but
Yeah,
we can
surprisingly.
ramble with the best of them.
Yes,
I mean, dude, I can.
we are definitely windbags. That's
Yeah,
for
I
sure.
can. Yeah, I can ramble about crap forever.
Oh
Like,
my gosh, this is the greatest. I love this.
yeah, it's fun.
Love doing the show with you guys.
You guys got anything else?
I mean, no, I'm good. I mean, I
Is it-
could go on forever, like you said, but
like,
we need
nah.
to stop at some point.
Yeah, we
okay.
gotta stop because yeah.
I got a pulled pork sandwich waiting for me.
Attaboy.
Ooh, sounds good. But as always, guys, like, subscribe, rate, and we always appreciate you all listening. It's kind of what we do, because we love to talk about Westerns. So,
It's true.
as always, guys, go Tops.
Go Tops.
Good
Go
talk.
Tops.